Hello, welcome to the Daily Bible Podcast. My name is William Hemsworth. Thank you so much for joining me for today's show. Hope everyone is doing well, has a great weekend planned with their families. Well, today we are going to cover Matthew chapter 17, verses 9 through 13. And my apologies, I have a little technical difficulty at the moment. There we go, my earphones became unplugged, so if you heard a little feedback there, my apologies. But they were unplugged just a tiny little bit, and unfortunately, this is a live show, and I can't edit those snafus out. So there you go. Hope you're entertained. Hope you weren't too annoyed. So we're going to cover Matthew chapter 17, verses 9 through 13, and this concludes the transfiguration narrative here. So let's get to it. Matthew chapter 17, verses 9 through 13 say, "And as they were coming down the mountain, Jesus commanded them, 'Tell no one the vision until the Son of Man is raised from the dead.' And the disciples asked him, 'Then why do the scribes say that first Elijah must come?' But he replied, 'Elijah does come, and he is to restore all things. But I tell you that Elijah has already come, and they did not know him, but did to him whatever they pleased. So also the Son of Man will suffer at their hands.' Then the disciples understood that he was speaking to them of John the Baptist." So we got a little bit going on here, but throughout Matthew's gospel we see this theme of whenever something miraculous happens, showing that Jesus is the Messiah, Jesus tells the disciples, don't say anything. I know I've said this in past episodes. Jesus did this because if word got out of all these things he was doing, he wouldn't be able to fulfill his ultimate mission. And so in verse 9, which is where Jesus says, don't say anything, this is the final injunction. This is the final time that Jesus is telling them to shush, if you will. Jesus also clarifies that this restriction goes away after the resurrection. They can go and tell. Actually, they will be commanded at the end of the Gospel of Matthew to go and tell the world everything that they've seen, heard, to teach, baptize, etc. And at that point, it's going to be a lot clearer what Christ came to do. So how about Elijah? Was John the Baptist like reincarnated Elijah or something? No, absolutely not. Some people would throw that out there. That's definitely not the case. We see this, the spirit of Elijah thing, that we just read, and compared to John the Baptist. We read that in Malachi chapter 4, verses 5 through 6. It says that Elijah would be the forerunner of the Messiah. John the Baptist played that role perfectly. Remember, he's out there calling the Pharisees a brood of vipers, and Elijah was similarly in your face in such a way to the priests of Baal. So John the Baptist came in the spirit of Elijah. So we see that role in John the Baptist, and we see it in his own martyrdom. So I hope that clarifies a couple of those verses there. Again, I apologize for that technical snafu there. It was just disconnected just a tiny little bit, tiny enough to where there may have been a little bit of feedback, or maybe a lot of feedback. But again, I do this show live in the morning. So sometimes when those things happen, you just got to roll with the punches. Well, God bless you. I thank you so much for joining me today on the Daily Bible Podcast. Hope you got a little bit out of the show. God bless you. Have a great day. Take care.